Alright, what is up? This is Slow Plays, and I am back at it again with some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC Pack 19, the Daima Pack, story mode speculation here on the channel. Let's talk about the potential of them adding a story mode, I guess, extra mission scenario. In the past couple of years now, they've been doing a story mode for almost every single DLC, with the exception of DLC 15, which focused on the very first, I guess, line of superhero characters from the superhero movie. And for good reason. That was just kind of one that they wanted to get out as soon as possible for people to play. And then we waited a lot longer until DLC 16, which was the big major story mode. So that was the last story mode that was related to an actual anime. The actual past couple of ones that we've had were part of Future Saga. Future Saga is a separate thing that kind of changes up the entire story of Dragon Ball and gives us something unique. So right now, we're on a hiatus from Future Saga. Chapter 3 probably won't release until maybe later this year or early next year. No confirmation, but they're taking a break, and they're going to, throw in this Daima pack, again, to go on the Daima hype. And there is a chance, not confirming or not, no promises, okay, that we might get a story mode on this. This one is a little bit weird. I really don't think it would work too well. I think it would be really cool if they could do this, but because of how things ended off with Few going into his villain arc, right? He's starting to, I don't know. It's a crazy concept. I love the idea of it. But just the fact that he's never been a good guy or a bad guy. Like, when you make the neutral party of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse story start to become evil, shit's about to go down. Like, it's gonna get crazy during Future Saga Chapter 3. So yeah, like I said, at the very end of Chapter 2, they have this discussion between Few and Trunks, as well as your character. We're finally getting our character back into the actual, like, story and cutscenes, right? So he's kind of getting annoyed at this point that every time he tries to have a plan of either gathering ki or trying to evolve this supervillain power, which he's at the ultra super villain mode now. Holy fuck, like, we're getting crazy in Xenoverse. Like, Xenoverse 3, where is it, bro? Just make it, all right? Just make it, tease it. But yeah, he's getting kind of annoyed that the hero, you, the character, as well as the time patrollers, are always foiling his plans, right? He's starting to actually become a villain. Before, you actually would, at the very beginning, there were point in time where you were, like, teaming up with him, like, during, like, the very first, iterations of Few doing this experimental shit, right? But he was also not really a bad guy, okay? He helped, I guess, save Supreme Kai time, not, intentionally, like that's, to be a good guy. No, he was just like, hey, I don't care about this becoming the next Demon King or this Demon Realm bullshit, right? When he's talking to Dabura, and he was like, hey, yo, I'm gonna turn you to stone. We're gonna get all this situated. All I care about is having a good time, having fun, and, playing with my little experiments. That's all he cares about, because that's his character, right? But now, because we are, interjecting into this, and we're foiling his plans with it, because he's doing kind of bad stuff, right? Like, he's been doing some bad shit. He was in the last DLC, he went as far as, like, actually harming innocent people during, like, the city with, like, Broly and all that shit. And it was starting to get a little bit out of hand, right? Not a little bit, it was starting to really get out of hand. So I don't know how this would even really work, because in each of these stories, at least for Future Saga, he seems to be introducing a new ultra super villain character. And this Daima pack, I don't see that happening. Again, it's focused on just Dragon Ball Daima. So that's probably why we might not get a story. But if we do, there is a way that I guess they could play around with it. He doesn't have to make an ultra super villain character, but that's the whole premise. That's the whole point of the Future Saga series and where the story is going, is that he found this new power that he has awakened and evolved, and he's, starting to want to experiment it, on other characters as well as himself, right? So we're going to jump into a PowerPoint slide. That's right, my friends. We're going back to school. I have a little slide that I threw together for you guys. Just something simple for a story. I don't want to make it too crazy, because there's about a million different ways that, Xenoverse 2 could do this, right? But I'm just going based off of the history of the series with, for example, DLC 16, which was, part of a new main timeline sort of story for Dragon Ball. And I know Daima is, might be its own thing. I don't know how that's going to work, but with Superhero, they didn't get too crazy with it. It had, I think, like 3 story mode scenarios. If I recall correctly, you had one with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Cell, and that ended up being more of the Gammas teaming up with the Great Saiyaman because he decided to bring them in. And they did some like fucking crazy, shit with defeating Cell and everything. They did a team up, right? So that was the situation with the first one, but the rest of it was all mainly superhero related. That one, for the most part, it followed the story until you got to the part with Gohan Beast. You had a scenario where he would team up with Orange Piccolo and they would do a dual special beam cannon to defeat Cell Max. And then you had the other path, which was I think the Gammas with Android 16 and Android 21. He threw in Android 21. So 16 and 21 were thrown into the superhero movie, basically. And obviously Gamma 2, unfortunately, he was gone. But we had Gamma 1 there. So it was those 3 that teamed up to defeat Cell Max instead, which is a crazy concept. But those 3 teaming up to be able to defeat Cell Max is kind of insane to me. But still, it's a game, it's fun, and, that gave us something unique and different. So I'm going to kind of, play around with that level of, story, I guess, and we'll see how this works. So here it is, the Xenoverse 2 Daima Pack story mode that hasn't even been confirmed and probably might not even happen. But like I said, this is all for fun. We're all just trying to have a good time with it. So again, we are confirmed to be getting some type of information here. Not confirmed, but like we know the Daima Pack's coming, and there's got to be info this month, right? It's been too long. I feel like the summer release makes the most sense for this. It could be later this month, right before the 7-year anniversary, because that's what they did, I think, for Future Saga Chapter 1 last year. So I'm really hoping that this is the case, but we'll definitely see, okay? So how I think this would happen, obviously few would have to have a role in this. And again, we're kind of in a weird spot. Maybe they like act like the Future Saga isn't really happening right now, and they're still going with kind of leading, I guess, off of what DLC 16 had, which to my knowledge, he wasn't really experimenting with Ultra Super Villain, because Ultra Super Villain wasn't introduced yet. So maybe they could do something like that, and that's the kind of path that I'm going off of. If they want to, they can still make, a way for it to, they can play around with the Ultra Super Villain, like, story mode or whatever, what we've had for the Future Saga, and have this lead off of it. But again, I feel like it just wouldn't really work too well. So what I'm trying to get at is that basically, because this is, right, the Demon Realm, this is the first Demon Realm, it would make a lot of sense for them to have, like, the Daima and Xenoverse 2, it's, like, perfect to work together, right? But the problem with that is, okay, and again, this is because this is, something that's different from, or not different, but Mira, Tawa, and Dabura, who are Demon Realm related characters, they're no longer, like, present. Now, he could always bring them in from, like, a different timeline, so that could always be a possibility. But again, I feel like that gets too confusing and it's too crazy, right? So, like I said, I try to keep this pretty simple, right? So, Few opens up a portal to the first Demon Realm, at the point where Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Goku fight Goma. Now, they fought him separately, so I'm just going into that part of the timeline. They're already aged up, they're already adults and everything. There are no minis confirmed, so that wouldn't even work, right? So we probably wouldn't even see them get to, do that whole story progression for that point. Like, we're just like the last, like, basically 2 episodes of Daima. Because, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's confirmed. We're likely getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and maybe Goma if we're lucky, okay? Now, this is all riding off the possibility if we even get Goma, right? So that's why this speculation can easily fall apart, right? But basically, in the actual, Daima, series, right? Super Saiyan 4 Goku, after he awakens, he's overpowering Goma. So a few steps in, okay, this is just, a possibility. He boosts Goma using the Villainous mode key. Keep in mind, I didn't say Super Villain or Ultra Super Villain, just Villainous mode, right? Because Goma's already really fucking strong, and he's got the third eye, so it's like, it's too much, right? It's too much. Goma basically will become way too powerful for Goku to keep up, okay? Because Goku was pretty much, for the most part, overpowering him, but he kept healing up via the third eye. And the whole goal was to knock the third eye out, right? You had to hit him in the back of the head like 3 times, right? So, what I'm thinking, which would be really cool, is Fu opens up a rift to bring Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Dragon Ball GT to aid Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, this is all just fan service, right? That's what a lot of the, Xenoverse 2 story is, right? So, I think this would be kind of fun if they could just throw in Super Saiyan 4 Goku. If they want to, they could throw in Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as well, but I feel like, it would get a little bit too crazy. I think Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, and GT, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is, I feel like that's like too much, right? That's Goma will be eviscerated. So it's like, I think it's a little bit too much, and I kind of wanted to keep it to the point where we could at least have a couple of paths, because that's what they did in previous, DLC, right? So there are going to be two paths that we could possibly take with this, right? We have path 1, which is the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta team up, right? So instead of Goku doing that realm-shattering Kamehameha to Goma, which doesn't actually defeat him, but it definitely, like, knocks a hole, not knocks, but like it blows a hole through him and everything, and they're trying to find an opportunity to beat this guy, right? So GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku potentially maybe acting as a decoy to distract Goma to let Goku and Vegeta power up. Goku and Vegeta team up and release a Super Kamehameha and Final Flash combo or whatever to attack Goma. So that would be like more of like, there would be like a double distraction here, because again, the whole point is to knock out the third eye. So maybe he does that, right? And then while Goma's getting absolutely fucked by that beam, right? Maybe Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or they throw in Piccolo. I don't know. Maybe Piccolo will finally get a reason, for being there in Daima, right? And he's already aged up, so that it would be fine. It wouldn't be like, something weird, right? So one of them, okay, either Goku or Piccolo. And when I say Goku, I mean GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Okay, he can go and he can hit Goma, maybe knock out the third eye or some shit like that, right? Path number 2. The double Super Saiyan 4, the ultra fan service, okay? Like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta doing a, team up would be really cool, because we actually didn't really get that. They fought separately for the most part in the entirety of Daima, which I thought was, it was cool because we got airtime for both, but it's like, I would have really liked if they teamed up and like defeated Goma. I thought that would have been sick, okay? I think that was maybe a little bit too obvious, so maybe that's why they didn't do that. But the double Super Saiyan 4 path, that would make for a crazy-ass cutscene fan service, right? Like, Piccolo and Gohan teaming up in Superhero doing a double special beam cannon. Like, that shit was gas. But imagine this. This is like the double Super Saiyan 4 path is like a Super Saiyan Blue Goku and future Gohan team up. Like, it's just like, you're getting two different like timelines colliding. It's a bit crazy, right? So the alternate would be Vegeta and others, aka would probably just be Piccolo, hold off Goma, play a distraction, and then a double Kamehameha. When I say a double Kamehameha, is the Daima Goku has like a blue Kamehameha. His is still blue, but GT Goku has times 10. Right? So his would be red. So imagine this red and blue swirling, almost like a final Kamehameha, right? That Vegito has. Something similar to that, but it's blue and red. Oh, that shit would be so fucking gas, dude. I would just everywhere. It would be fire. So yeah, maybe do something like that and then have, Vegeta or Piccolo again to knock out the third eye, okay? Because again, that's the whole point. He can just keep regenerating, so there would be no point into doing this shit if, he would keep regenerating. Like a beam's not going to beat him, okay? There needs to be a knock out the third eye, okay? 3 hits, right? So either of those would be sick. And obviously, like I said, with Xenoverse 2, they've been doing this like path change type of thing for some of the stories. So I think that'd be pretty cool. The ending, Fu basically gathers all the ki that he wanted from the fight, because he's still, doing his experimental bullshit or whatever. So he fucks off, he disappears into the rift, and maybe that will potentially lead into Future Saga Chapter 3, or if not, and this is just its own separate thing that's more, leading off of DLC 16 story, they could kind of do something like that, right? So it's like branching timelines in the story. Imagine that, dog, because that's kind of what this Daima pack is. If they are doing a story, it's kind of, interfering with the Future Saga. So it's like, I really don't know how they would do this, but I think that would be a really fun story mode. And the whole point of this is I just want to see two Super Saiyan 4s from different timelines team up, right? If we're going to get it in any game, Xenoverse 2 is the game to do it. Right now, unfortunately, Heroes doesn't exist anymore. We have the Dragon Ball Super Divers series, and they're not they call it Super Divers, yet they yet to have dived into actual crazy shit that they were doing in Heroes. Like, so Xenoverse 2 is our like last hope for seeing two versions of Super Saiyan 4 like team up or do something together. You know what I mean? Like, Xenoverse 2 is the game for it, or just the Xenoverse series. So I pray that we, you know, maybe get to see a story mode. I think that'd be really fucking cool. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Again, this is it's not that crazy for Xenoverse 2. Like, this is definitely stuff that's possible. But if there are other cool shit that you could come up with, comment down below. I would love to hear it. So thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
This is Broly, and you are watching Slow Plays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet!